Hey Mini enthusiasts, how you doing? I hope you're all having a great day. And in this episode, the plan is to get the whole front end off Project Sprout in one go, or one episode anyway. So I'm not hugely experienced at doing front end bodywork on Minis. In fact, bodywork in general. Done lots of welding, and obviously we put the new front end on kit, and I've done that. Me and Mark done that together. But aside from that, I don't think I've put a front end on a Mini. So I've only done one. We didn't put a front end on bolt, did we? So it's kind of new territory for me, really. I'm going to learn as I go along here. So I would say leave some tips, but hopefully by the time we get to this video, the whole front end will be off. So maybe leave some tips for me putting it back together. So let me show you a couple of things, couple of sort of prep work bits I've done prior to getting the angle grinder and cutter out and cutting it all off. Right, so this is probably a bit OTT, but I'll show you through my thinking anyway. So what I've basically done is I've played around with the bonnet a little bit, taking in mind the bonnet wasn't on the car when I picked it up, so I put it on. It was all out of alignment, and I've just had a go at aligning it the best I can where it is. And the rationale behind that is, you might have heard me mention in the last video, but I want something, I want a datum point to kind of start from, really. Because once all the front end's off, you're just making the assumption then that the Heritage front end is perfect and it's all going to fit okay. I don't think it will do. So obviously, the only thing that's staying on, which will be part of the old car, is the bonnet. Everything else is going. So the scuttle panel's going, the wings are going, A panels have gone, as you'd see. The doors are off now, and it's having a new front panel as well. So the only bit that's remaining is the bonnet. So we're going to use the bonnet as the datum point to line everything back up. And certainly I can remember doing kit. What I done on kit was we fitted the scuttle panel first and then lined everything up forward of the scuttle panel. I'm not sure whether everyone does it like that. That's probably the natural way to do it, to be honest. But we kind of done a similar thing on kit, and I'm gonna do the same on this. So the first thing I've done is just gone round and got the gaps as best as I can. And as you know, Mini, certainly with bonnet gaps, it's very difficult to get it perfect, and I could probably get it better than it is at the moment, but I'll be here for hours fiddling around with the hinges. So what I've done is I've marked on the panels what the panel gap is at certain points. So as you see here, these 2 points align. It's 5.65 millimeters, and at the rear of the bonnet where it aligns with the scuttle, it's 5.45 millimeters. Front of the bonnet, 4.35, so obviously the gap narrows a little bit there. In the middle though, even though I faffed around with this and tried to get, I've got the left and the right very similar, but the bonnet must bow in a little bit more than the scuttle panel does. So it's 6.97 in the middle, 5.65, 5.85 this side. You get the idea. So we're not going to be rubbing the paint off this or anything. So these marks should still be here afterwards. So this will all get cut off. In fact, I might cut down the middle here, but I'll still be able to go back and reference these measurements here. So when I start putting it all back together, I can know roughly what is right. Particularly these gaps along here. So like I say, start with a scuttle. Obviously the bonnet hinges and the bonnet remain, they're not being changed. So the hinges don't get moved, or certainly not unless we're doing a bulkhead, which I really hope we're not doing. The hinges don't get moved. So in other words, we can sort of reverse fit it. So I can fit the bonnet on, and then I can line the scuttle up with the measurements we've got here to know it's roughly in about the right sort of place. Now let me show you what I'm going to do as well. So to ensure we get the bonnet absolutely perfect, because we're going to be relying on these measurements, I've devised a little way of doing that. I don't know whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. We will soon find out. Let me know. So what I've done, rather than, and I've done this on minis before, I paint the hinge, you can see where it is, and you get it roughly about right, but I want to be a bit more accurate. So I've drilled 3mm drill bit holes through the hinge and through the bonnet. The idea is I can get 4 drill bits, 3mm drill bits. So there's one at the back there, sorry, one at the front, there's one at the back there, and I've done the same on the other side. So the idea here is, without even messing around with the bolts or the hinges, I can just put it on, I line up these holes with the 4 drill bits, and it should be perfect. So what do we reckon? Is that the right way to do it? Like I say, I've not got a great deal of experience fitting front ends on minis. I'm sure there's some people probably watching this video that have worked in body shops and things like that, so maybe you can comment, let me know how it's done. So let me stop waffling. Let's start getting this stripped down now. So we've got to get all the ancillaries off the front, and then it's basically cut her out, and we'll cut through the wings, take the windscreen out, bonnet off, and yeah, basically get it stripped down. And let's see, well, hopefully there's nothing horrible, nothing we don't know about yet. So let's get on with it. right then, I do apologise, the camera battery went flat towards the end there, so we missed a few little bits. But we're at the stage now where everything's stripped off. I was fiddling around trying to get these washer jets out and that, but the whole scuttle's coming off, so I don't know why I was mucking around. What does it look like? So it was actually a bit of a pain. Everything, bolts broke, things were seized. Got everything laid out on the bench here now, but yeah, everywhere there was a bolt, it just broke just because it's rusted and hasn't been touched for years. The scuttle panel, obviously you'd have seen when I took the windscreen out, yeah, it's in a pretty bad shape, to be honest. The good bit is, I don't know if you can see here, but the inner dash rail is not actually that bad. In the middle, that's just surface rust. It's not actually holed anywhere there, which is good because I haven't seen them really bad there, but until you get the whole scuttle out, we're not going to know for sure anyway. Aside from that, what else? Got all the dashboard and everything out. So I've got this top dash, what is that? Not the dash rail. Can't remember now. That bit anyway. The bolts broke on that. That's a pain because the middle one was all right, but the two end ones broke. So it's going to be a pain to sort out. Dash itself is not in bad condition. I wish I'd filmed it actually, because I'm sure some people will probably want to know how to get an MPI dash out, but it's not that too difficult, to be honest. Maybe I'll show you if I get 5 minutes. It's just knowing where the bolts are. So that's where we are at the moment. I just need to get the cutter out now and cut the front end off. Like I say, not done this before actually. In fact, no, I've not cut a front end off. Mark would have obviously done kit when we done that. Obviously helped put it back together, but I wasn't there when it was cut off. Oh, the bumper bolt was broke as well, which was really annoying because it's in good condition, that bumper, and it's the original Rover bumper, so it's a stainless steel one. Hasn't got razor sharp edges on it like they do when you order replacements now. But again, I might be able to do something with that. So just get the camera set up, get the grinder out, PPE on, and let's cut the front end off. there we go. That only took about half hour. There's the front end. Yeah, I took it off quite neatly. It could almost go back on again. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? You are, aren't you? I won't spoil it. Leave a comment down the bottom. I'll tell you what I'm thinking in a minute, but I know you guys and ladies, you're all petrol heads like me. I bet we're thinking the same thing. Right, so let's have a look. So it come off all right, no problems really. That was quite straightforward and easy to do. This bit here is a little bit difficult to do around the front because obviously we want to retain the inner wings. And it's not as bad as I thought actually. I got lucky. I cut through this bit here, not realising there was a bit of wiring loop around the back of there, and I just nicked that little purple one there, so we'll heat sink that, but I didn't cut right through it. Makes a change for me. Look at that closing panel, still intact. Obviously there's still the old bits of inner wing on there, which are the spot welds there. I've got to drill them out, but that's pretty amazing, isn't it? There's a flitch panel. I do need to repair this because it's got a hole there, it's got a hole at the bottom, and at the bottom same as the other side, so I'm probably going to cut down here and do the whole height of the flitch panel. Obviously I need to drill out all these spot welds now, get this remaining part of the wing off. But this bit here, this is what I was quite worried about seeing it originally, because I thought it might be rusty right down into the bulkhead here, because they do sometimes, but that is pretty intact. I might have to do a little bit of a repair, but it's nothing major. I've seen them where this is completely rusted away, so I'm pretty pleased about that. Around the other side, again, flitch panels intact. Again, managed to avoid cutting through the washer pipe. I did know the washer pipe was there actually, but didn't worry me too much if I'd have cut through that. Yes, I'm quite pleased with that progress actually. Feels like another big milestone past that. This is phase 2, by the way. And there's obviously all the dash and everything from earlier on. I'll just show you on the back quickly because I know some people are going to want to know how the dash holds in on an MPI. It's pretty straightforward. So this is looking underneath. So there's that bolt which goes downwards, which is on the driver's side front. It's quite hard to see that bolt because it's behind the fuse box. You have to take the fuse box out, and there's some... no, it might not be directly behind the fuse box, but there's a load of wiring in the way. This, there's a nut that goes on there, so take the stereo out, you can get in there, get the nut out. And this side is a bit easier over by the glove box, and that's it. That's that dashboard out then. It is a bit of a fiddle to pull it out. Electrical connections, quite straightforward. There's just one here for the clock. Obviously, if you've got 3 gauges like PL has, there'll be another 2 harnesses here, or whether they'll go into one. That's the plug for the alarm wire. There's a plug there for the headlamp aims, and the rest. And then just the dash plug. Speedo cable. That's it really. Rev counter. Speedo cable actually holds it in place. So if you're struggling to get it out, make sure you've unclipped the speedo cable, which you just sort of squeeze and push sideways and it comes out. So yeah, quite pleased about that. So what were you thinking? Go on, were we thinking the same? I was thinking, do you know what? That ain't that bad, is it? I mean, that'll make a nice piece of wall art, that will, won't it? I could buy some headlamp bulbs, buy some headlamps, put it in, stick a grill on, a Keith 1 number plate on the front. Yeah, I could, couldn't I? I just need I'll need a bonnet, cut off a bonnet, but if I cut it about here, I mean, yeah, it's rotting, it's rusty, but there's no holes in it. So I can just pug that up, to be honest. It's only going in the house. Oh, I wonder what Mrs. Miller will think of that. Could be in trouble. I reckon she'll like it though, especially if I put working headlights in it. Let's see what she thinks. So, that's it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Quite a lot of progress in this, or seemingly anyway. please, as always, remember, give it a thumbs up, if you like it, of course. And if you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing, because we get involved in lots of projects like this, and there's regular content coming out all the time. And if you're a subscriber, you get first notification. So, yeah, thanks for joining in this week, and see you again soon.